Welcome to my channel. This is Pam Entertainment TV, and we review movies and television series and pop culture information. And this is what this is: celebrity legal news. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. And if you're not familiar with me, I am Pamela. I'm at Pam Entertainment TVs. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. I really do appreciate it. What I want to do right now is go over this information. The judge, Drake has sued UMG for defamation in regards to the Not Like Us diss track that Kendrick had put out. And what he is clearly talking about is in reference to Kendrick Lamar in the song talking about PDF files, right? And so the Drake filed the lawsuit. UMG filed a motion to have this lawsuit dismissed. And they also added in them requiring that this lawsuit to be dismissed is that they wanted a stay on the discovery process. So what the judge has decided is that there will not be a stay on the discovery process. And what the legal pundits are saying is that means that this case may not be dismissed. So let's go over this information of what's going on. And we're going from Billboard. It's written by Bill Donahue. It says here Drake can seek Kendrick Lamar's record deal and other docs in Not Like Us lawsuit, the judge says. The label had argued that Drake's demand for evidence were premature and overboard, but a judge says that the discovery process can move ahead for now. And the one thing that I need for us to understand that each judge has they have a way that they want to figure out how they do their process. And this particular judge truly does not think that anything as far as discovery is premature. And even with UMG's to have this motion dismissed, he's particularly that judge, it depends on the judge, and it's a case by case basis of what's going on. So basically what it is that Drake now has the ability to uh depose different executives and things like that to figure out what's going on with the contract. Okay, so let's go over this article. It says here Drake seeks Kendrick Lamar's record deal and other docs and Not Like Us lawsuit, judge says. Now I don't understand what the issue is about his record deal, how that's going to portray or anything like that. But it says here a federal judge says Drake can move forward with discovery in his defamation lawsuit against Universal Music Group over Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us, allowing his attorneys to begin demanding documents like Lamar's record deal. UMG has asked Judge Jeanette A. Vargas to halt discovery process last month, arguing that Drake's case was so flawed that it would likely be quickly dismissed and that the star was unfairly demanding highly commercially sensitive documents in the meantime. And let's be fair, I'm quite sure Drake doesn't want anybody to see his record deal with UMG and him having access, because I'm not even really sure about how Kendrick's record deal has anything to do with defaming his character. But let's continue. But at a hearing Wednesday, April 2nd, a Manhattan federal judge, the judge denied the motion that in a ruling from the bench. The judge has hinted in earlier rulings that she does not typically delay discovery before deciding if a case will be dismissed, barring extraordinary circumstances. Now that's interesting because if a case is talking about that they want to be dismissed, it would seem that any type of discovery or any type of information given to the plaintiff or the defendant would be halted until she makes a ruling on that. But again, different judges do different things, and that is the uh that's either a positive or a negative in regards to when you filed these lawsuits. But at a hearing at Wednesday's April 2nd Manhattan Federal Court, the judge denied the motion in the ruling from the bench. The judge had hinted earlier in rulings that she typically does not delay discovery before deciding if a case will be dismissed, barring extraordinary circumstances. So this judge says that there's no extraordinary circumstances that she should bar this. In response to the ruling, Drake's lead attorney, Michael Gottlieb, said, "Now it's time to see what UMG was desperately trying to hide." An attorney for UMG declined to comment, and a spokesman for the company did not immediately return a request for comment. And that's interesting. What is UMG trying to hide? That's a very interesting statement, because if you're out of the Drake camp, you're believing that UMG pushed this record despite knowing that Drake is not a PDF file. Again, UMG, and it's always interesting because Drake is not filing suit against Kendrick Lamar. Drake is filing suit against UMG. And again, he has an absolute win on this, and we won't deter that Drake has an absolute win on this. But one of the things that I do want to counter with is the fact that what does Kendrick Lamar's uh, deal with Interscope, which is under the umbrella of UMG, have to do with the fact of the diss record? If Drake believes that Kendrick Lamar defamed his character, the absolute and the positive question is, why is he not suing Kendrick Lamar? Now, I know a lot of folks who are Drake fans are saying this is a win because Drake is he's suing for the artist. No, he's not. No, he's not. Again, this is scorched earth. Drake didn't win the battle. He is going to then in turn upend battle rap, a subgenre of hip hop. Drake is used to being, again, he has been the man for the past 15 years. You can't deny that he has been the man for the past 15 years. But if he thinks this lawsuit is going to put him in the good graces of UMG, he is desperately, undeniably mistaken. Because I don't see a path where UMG doesn't drop Drake. And I'm wondering what his bargaining power is going to be now that he has to then try to present himself to other record labels. Other record labels are not going to be wanting to be fooling with him. And let's be clear. Let's be real clear that UMG owns a lot of imprints. Where is Drake going to go? I don't understand. And y'all help me figure it out. Why he does not have Kendrick Lamar as in the lawsuit. Makes no sense to me. It's the one Kendrick Lamar has made the statement that he is a PDF file, that his crew has some weird cases around them, and that Drake, he doesn't act like a collaborator, he acts like a colonizer. And so I ask you all, how does this whole situation gives Drake bargaining power? Because UMG can just basically say anytime in this matter, fuck Drake. Fuck Kendrick Lamar. They can say that at any time in this whole situation. Let's continue, y'all. Let me make sure I put this on here because it looks like I don't have it up here. In response to the ruling, Drake's lead attorney, Michael Gottlieb. Now, if you're not familiar with Michael Gottlieb, he is also representing, I think it's either Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds in regards to that case against Justin Baldoni. Said now it's time to see what UMG was so desperately trying to hide. An attorney for following Wednesday's decision, Drake's attorney will now continue to push ahead with seeking key documents and demanding to depose witnesses. But discovery in a civil case is a two-way street, opening a plaintiff up to scrutiny from accused parties seeking to defend themselves. UMG will seek vast swaths of sensitive material about Drake and will likely demand to depose the rapper himself. Lamar released "Not Like Us" last May amid a high profile beef with Drake that saw the two stars release a series of bruising attacks. And you know what's interesting to me? I don't know what Kendrick Lamar's camp is going to do. Whitney, because if they were just trying to let this go, this is part of the time that Kendrick's camp is not to let things go. If Kendrick, let's be very clear, we do not have any evidence on both sides where the end of this information is true or false. But Kendrick, this is probably the time, or Whitney, this is probably the time for you to sue Drake personally for defaming your character. Drake said that you basically, Whitney, was having illicit affairs with Kendrick Lamar's best friend and collaborator, Dave Free, a minor. But shout out to Drake. His attorneys are doing the damn thing. They were able to get this information. They were able to be able to dispose executives, and that is going to be interesting because again, I don't think that UMG applied any different tactics for Kendrick Lamar that they haven't deployed for Drake. I think Drake has profited from UMG using different tactics to push his music, and I think that UMG has used those same tactics to push Kendrick's music. So I don't think there's anything different in regard to that. I do think that Drake is doing this because he lost the beef. But again, Drake does not have a sense of discernment because when we look back at all of his beefs, particularly with his beef with Pusha T, he does not have the discernment to realize that if I'm going to make money off a Nike deal, it is not the best time to get into a damn beef with Pusha T, who exposed that Drake was hiding a child. If Drake was out here pushing deals with different shoe companies and other things like that, Drake did not have the discernment not to get into a beef with Kendrick Lamar. You baited this man to get into a beef with you. And when he got into this beef with you, and he did just like you did, you made statements that Kendrick Lamar's fiance, girlfriend, however you want to speak of her, was having an affair, an intimate relationship with his best friend and collaborator, Dave Free. Did you not think that they were going to go to hell when you went low. And for all you all that are saying, oh my gosh, Drake is fighting the machine, and people are trying to 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 take the side of the machine. Let me explain to you what's going on so we can clearly define what's going on. Drake is going scorched earth. He is about to decimate a complete genre under rap music, under hip hop, in regards to battle rap. He's about to decimate this whole thing. Be clear. Now, at the same time, I know it is completely and utterly devastating for someone to call you a PDF file, because that particular accusation ruins lives. So I will say this: if if he feels like that accusation is ruining his life, he has every right to do whatever he's doing. But he has to be cognizant of the fact that he is about to decimate a whole genre, subgenre in hip hop music. And I will say this: I don't know what Kendrick Lamar and Whitney got going on. That's not my business. I'm not in there. But baby, if Whitney, if you believe that Drake has defamed you, this is probably the best time for you to get out here and to file a lawsuit against Drake. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, people. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Again, UMG has to now sit down with, they have filed a motion to dismiss. However, the judge says that even though you have filed this motion to dismiss, that's not going to stop that the Drake's team is going to have to do discovery. That is a win for Drake's team. So they're going to be deposing executives. They're going to be looking at contracts. They're going to be doing all of these different things. Y'all think Drake gonna do a diss record once he looks at Kendrick's contract? Because it was a whole thing about you being signed to this Negro to be signed to that Negro. Do you think he's gonna put it out a single out talking about who Drake is signed to and how his money is split? Interesting. All right, people. We do this every week. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a co-worker, tell that heifer that you cannot stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye. Shout out to Drake, but his lawyers are doing the damn thing. His lawyers are doing the damn thing.